It is the first academic monograph written in English about exclusively about negative theology in medieval Islam, and this book actually comes up with, I can say, a lot of very original and new ideas. Okay, thanks for having me. The book is called Unsaying God, Negative Theology in Medieval Islam, written by Aydogan Kars. Aydogan Kars is a professor of Islamic Studies at the University of Monash in Australia. And as the title shows, the book is about negative theology in Muslim thought in medieval period. And I actually came across this book well before its publication, because I actually anticipated this book, because I knew when Mr. Aydogan Kars was working on this book, because that is actually the revised version of his actually PhD thesis. This fascinating book, I have to say, tries to, for the first time in English-speaking world, so I have to put emphasis on this point, that most probably, as far as I think I know, this book published by Oxford University Press in 2019, quite few months from now, it is the first academic monograph written in English about exclusively about negative theology in medieval Islam. And this book actually comes up with, I can say, a lot of very original and new ideas. According to Kars, Mu'tazilites are actually negative theologian of God properties but not God essence. Mystical theologians are negative theologian of God essence but not God properties. But those intellectuals, religious intellectuals like Abdul Karim Surush and Muhammad Mushahid Shabastari, they are actually the negative theologian of both God's essence and God properties. That's one thing that I think is quite relevant. It could be relevant because the book is about medieval theology, but if we extend it further to the contemporary theology, that might be one thing that we can draw from that interesting division that Dr. Aydogan Kars made in the book. This is point number one. And regarding another point that the book is making regarding non-mystical version of negative theology, which is widely ignored. One also might add, also in contemporary Shi'i theology, we have something called Maktab Tafkik or Maktab Ma'arifi Khurasan, which is also very interestingly can be taken as a non-mystical version of negative theology. The book is not an introduction to negative theology, so it's a technical book. However, I think it would be appeal to and would be beneficial to the advanced undergraduate students, postgraduate students, of course scholars of Islamic studies, scholars of comparative philosophical theology, and scholars of Islamic studies in general, and also scholars of philosophy, of religion, and of course lay people who are interested in these actually fields of study.